if I'm perfectly honest with you, I think if Chris Hughton can't get Forest up, nobody ever will be able to.
Audio Jungle.
Your club now, Max. Now, Chris Hughton has been brought in, hasn't he, for Sabriel Lamucci, who was there for 15 months. How would you see this one going? I know you talked to Fusion, or Josh Fusion.
Yeah, Josh. I spoke to Josh, of course. The news kind of broke. I was at college actually, and kind of rushed. I kind of got home about 5 o'clock and was just on my phone. I was quite late to the news, to be honest with you. I'm normally on Twitter 24/7, but I was just. I think I was actually doing some college work or something similar to that, and I kind of just had a message from a journalist that I know that said that they've sacked the manager, but there was no real warning from Forest sacking the manager. Normally with football clubs, as journalists and people in the media get the warning about 5 or 10 minutes before, but it was kind of just out the blue really, a short statement, and then about 22 minutes later, Chris Hughton was announced. So it was quite a busy evening for me in terms of interviews and things. But how can I see it going? If I'm perfectly honest with you, I think if Chris Hughton can't get Forest up, nobody ever will be able to. I think he's a very good manager. He's bags of experience. We've got, he's brought in Anthony Knockaert. We're still waiting on the whole Gorinsky situation with West Brom, and that's looking not likely to be approved by the EFL. So he would have actually only brought in one player on that transfer deadline day. But I think that in terms of tactical play, from what we've seen so far, it's an improvement from Lamucci. It's nowhere near as good as we'd hope or Chris hopes, I think. And he said that in his post-match interviews. It's not going to change overnight like that. It's going to take a while. So I reckon probably, hopefully, if we can get out of this kind of little bit of bad form we're in. We've obviously found a little bit of form now and we're at the bottom of the table, but fingers crossed we can turn that around and hopefully by Christmas be near those playoff spots. I think playoffs kind of the least that we hope for this season. And if we don't go up this season, then we go again the next one. And then I'll say if Chris probably doesn't get up the next one, then they'll probably sack him. So that's football for you, isn't it? It's really a results-driven business, and that was proved with Lamucci. We had some good breaks and good spells in some games, but the goals weren't there, and we weren't winning games. And that's what football is all about, really, and especially the management.
Where do you see Forest going within the next 5 years? Do you reckon you'll be in the Premiership, or?
I've said for the last 5. I've probably said for the last. Well, I'm 16 now, and I've supported Forest since the age of about 5. So I've probably said for the last 10 years that I hope Forest will be in the Premier League. I hope so. I can't predict it. I think it doesn't help when there's fans not in, and that's being perfectly honest with you. I really do think that the Forest team thrives under that kind of city ground atmosphere, and even away from home as well, with a bit of pressure on them maybe. And for example, we saw in the Derby game when Forest could have easily gone on and won that game, and probably the same for Derby really. And if they'd have the fans just getting behind them a bit and giving them a bit of a lift, which even Lau Taylor came out on his post-match interview and spoke about, I think that Forest have to have fans in, otherwise we don't get that lift. The players don't get that motivation maybe, but Chris Hughton's got to find a way to motivate them. So for the next 5 years, well, I hope fans will be back in definitely in a year's time, but we don't know at the moment. So I hope so. I think we will be in the Premier League in 5 years, whoever it's under, whoever the team is, whoever the squad is, whatever the time is and the year. I honestly don't know. But I can see if we stick with Chris Hughton, give him time and get some more additions in, then I definitely see us going up, if not this season, fingers crossed next, automatics, hopefully.
So you said if Chris didn't get you up in the next 2 seasons, you think he'd be out?
Yeah.
Do you not think that you need to give him more of a chance with fans in the stadiums? Because obviously...
definitely. Oh yeah, definitely. But that's when I said that, I was going on like the track record of Forest and in terms of the ownership of the club, that unfortunately I don't think Forest have ever really given a manager proper time. Whether that will change, I don't know. I think it's 2 seasons, and if you're not up, then you're out. It can be even less sometimes, depending on the run of results. So I really want to see Chris get 3 or 4 seasons. But I think, unfortunately, with Forest and the way that the owners want quick success, I think that that he could be at in another 2 or 3. But to be honest with you, I don't want to talk about that because I think that we need to, a lot of Forest fans will want to be focused on this season and the next one, which hopefully he's at least going to get the whole of these, I guess you could say the half of this season and then the full season next with a summer transfer window in between. And if fans, like you said there, Joseph, if fans are back in, then fingers crossed it will drive the team more. And Chris Hughton's come into management, hasn't he? And he said this is his first job since when he was at Brighton and took them up. So it's very weird because there's no fans, and he actually said he's actually struggling to come to terms with that. So it's quite interesting. But fingers crossed, we'll give him a lot of time and go up, if not this season, the next one as well.
So you seem to be singing his praises quite a bit. Are you excited to see where he can take you?
Oh, definitely. With his track record of the Championship, 100%. 100%. I think that I've never seen, when a manager's been appointed, such high praise from his former clubs in terms of Brighton, Norwich, Newcastle, all full of praise. He did a remarkable job. I think he is actually, someone I interviewed told me this stat, so I'm nicking it off them. But I think apart from Neil Warnock, so he's second to Neil Warnock, he's the best Championship manager in terms of taking teams up. He has the best percentage of promotion in the Championship as a manager or head coach. So I'm very excited to see what we can do under him, and especially with the arrival of Anthony Knockaert as well, that he brought in on transfer deadline day that I mentioned earlier, and with this summer transfer window as well coming up, whether we're in the Championship or the Premier League, then if Chris can get players in he worked with it at Brighton, Newcastle and Norwich and form those around the current Forest squad, which is good anyway with the likes of Harry Arter and people like that, and Lyle Taylor as well. I think that Forest are destined for success, really.
Just last question on the manager now. And Chris Hughton, if you were in the owner's position, how much time would you give him? Because I know you're saying they would give him about 2 seasons or so, but if it was just you, how long would you give him?
It's a very difficult question. I've always wanted to be a football chairman, to be honest with you. But knowing me, I haven't got the best amount of patience. So I'd actually probably pull the gun quicker than some people would. No, I think if being realistic and everything like that, I think I'd probably say three seasons at least. 3 seasons at least, unless we're bottom of the league and there's we've lost 11 in a row and there needs to be a change. Then that's when football clubs are most likely to make a change. But apart from that, I think that 3 seasons is plenty. And if I was honest with you, I really do hope he gets that. But we'll have to wait and see.